What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal is back this week. How you doing, Seal?
Woo! Tired, man. But we're back at it, ready to go. Talking live sports, talking six bangers, loving the hat, bro.
Yeah, like I said last week, we're not going to sit and talk about MLS soccer a lot on this because I've been writing about it. We've both been writing about it a bit every single night. So head over to noscrubsallowed.com. You can check it out. There's a lot of posts. They're dated every single night. I've been writing them out. But, of course, we have to talk a little bit about LAFC, El Trafico, the seventh version. And people were wondering, how are we going to do without Vela? Obviously, that we're still the deepest team. And then Chicharito went out. And I don't know if that really changed all that much, but it was not pretty. Do you think, obviously the excuses are going to come out, do you think Chicharito would have helped at all?
For sure, with the attack that they were putting up, he definitely would have been able to produce a little more than that. I mean, one of their two goals was on a gimme pretty much penalty kick that was given back to them. But yeah, so he definitely would have helped out. Would it have been enough to overcome the 6-2 final that it was? I highly doubt that. It just looked like it was Rios' night. Rossi's night.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm thinking of Andy Rios still.
Dude, you're hung up on Andy Rios, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we scored 6 goals. For those that don't know and haven't read the post yet, it was 6-2, which is the most lopsided the El Trafico has been yet. And it evened up the series. It's 2 wins apiece and then 3 draws right now. But, of course, the people coming out of Carson are going to say the playoffs are one of them, so that doesn't count. But it's not a regular season. And in this, they're going to just discount this tournament altogether because they're going to finish with no points and lose all 3 games. But still, I mean, we're there. And without Zlatan, man, you can talk about Chicharito, you can talk about Pavon, Jonathan Dos Santos, the new coach, everything trying to get reestablished themselves. But without Zlatan, they are definitely not the Galaxy that everyone expects every year.
For sure. And I feel like the Carson Galaxy fans were pretty excited that Vela wasn't coming into this. And they figured that it was them in Portland kind of fighting for the group. And we're definitely circled last night. What it was supposed to happen about 2 months ago now.
Mm-hmm.
2 months ago was when y'all were supposed to match up. But so I feel like they were circling this. No Carlos Vela, go in, get a big one on LAFC, and to have that happen and that match was absolutely amazing for everybody but Carson fans.
Yeah, I mean, the first half was looking like it was going to be another just classic El Trafico, but in the end, the second half, Bob made his adjustments, and it was just too much. We got to see Rossi really step out as the alpha. He scored 4 of the goals. Vela's not there. When Vela comes back, that's going to be the real question, and it's a good question for Bob Bradley to have. But how do you adjust these lineups really when Vela and Diamande are back? Because you have Bradley Wright Phillips now, who isn't expected to go the full 90 ever. He's old now. But then you have to just figure out, and formation-wise as well, what they're going to do. This tournament, they've been playing with 3 forwards, which is probably what they'll continue doing. They'll just slot Vela in instead of Rodriguez, and they'll sub Rossi and Rodriguez, is my guess. But it's a good problem to have, but it could be a problem when Vela comes in there. He is expected to touch the ball the most. He has the highest usage rate. So do you think that could be a hiccup when that does happen?
At first, just to start out with the fresh lineups on, it could cause a little bit of stutter. But I think it's a good problem to have. And here's a thought. Why don't we just ship off Rodriguez and have Mohamed slide up in his place? Dude was great. You talked about him before.
Well, Mohamed's a defender. That he wouldn't be doing the same stuff.
Oh, really?
But our wing defenders,
dude has a leg,
yeah,
bro.
Our wing defenders come up really high in Bradley's system. So a lot of times he'll even overlap the midfielders. But essentially he's a defender. But I don't know if it's conditioning or not, but he's never started or with the intention of going a full 90. He's only started the throwaway rest games. And I'm not sure why, because with Blessing back there in the back, that's not really where he needs to be. he should be another super sub coming off the bench. And if we can have Muhammad El Munir start, I think that's the better thing to do. But
he looked great in that little bit that he was out there. I was really impressed by that. And we are neither impressed by Rodriguez at any point in time on the pitch. Even when he does score, you're just
so he makes fine runs. And because he's very fast, he's very speedy. He's supposedly really good with the ball on his feet, but it's like that basketball player that is just a black hole, like a Marcus Morris type. He might be very skilled, but it's not in our system. He catches the ball, he stops with it and tries to beat a guy while the rest of our people are just moving and running and making these one-touch passes. And regardless of how good he is, it's really throwing a wrench in our system. And it's now the second year, and he hasn't really looked like he's changing it. So I don't know.
I mean, he's definitely looks more in place than he did last season for sure. It's not just – I mean, there's a lot more runs going in. He's looking a lot more passes, touches going out. But it's just when you're running up to the box and you're still a good – 10 feet out of the box and you clear it a good 40 feet over the top post, it's a bad day for you.
And really his crosses are too low every time. And I know that the low driving cross is fine, but it can't hit the first defender every single time. So that's a little rough. But like I said, head over to noscrubsallowed.com. You can check out that game and every other game every single night. It's really easy to read. It's just a short little grade for each team. And I'm really happy with it. Every night we've been doing it. It's really cool. So head over there and check that out. But we're going to shift gears, and we have a lot to talk about with the NBA. So we're going to save them until after the break. But there is an MLB story I wanted to talk about. The Toronto Blue Jays got denied the ability to play at home. So now with that, and they're not the only Canadian team, right? Well, I guess the Expos are gone now. Are they the only Canadian team? Yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah.
So Toronto is not able to play in Canada at all. It's the entire Canada government. It's not just Toronto. So
what's that? Edmonton and Montreal is the NHL hub cities. Well, Edmonton is now. We saw the Damage Garage place.
But they're not traveling. So the reason Canada's government said no was because they don't want them traveling back and forth from the United States to Canada. So in the hockey hub, everyone's there, much like this Orlando bubble. But baseball wants it to be home games. So now it looks like they're probably going to play. They could play in Florida, which is their spring training site. But obviously Florida is ridiculously hot this time of year. And it's ridiculously spiked in the virus. And I don't think Canada would like that either, even though they don't have the call there. But they could play where their AAA team plays, which is Buffalo, New York, which is really not too far from the Canadian border anyway. And I feel like that would feel like more of a home game for Toronto if they were able to play up there near the Niagara Falls. So there's those two choices. I truly cannot see them playing down near you. I guess it's actually over near Tampa, I think. But in their spring training facility, my vote is New York. Do you think that could affect them? Or with no fans, does it really matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter right now. It's a 60-game season. It's definitely going to be easier than any other time ever for them to get this done. It's going to happen. The AAA is probably the best bet for them in Buffalo, but that's awesome for the. I guess they're not a city. What is Toronto, a city?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But that's awesome for them to keep their grounds. Down here in Florida, we just have our governor going all crazy and stuff, opening everything up. So to see them keep their grounds with such a big thing like the major leagues is awesome to see. Kind of frustrating for it to happen now, being what exhibition games are happening. So
well, luckily for them, I think they're playing in Florida right now because it's training, it's preseason, whatever. And their first series is against Tampa. So they have a little bit to work with. And what's crazy is it seems like, or not seems like, it's already there, the schedule is out. most of the games, I think it's 40 out of the 60 games, are against division opponents. So they're really just going to be sticking in that little AL East area anyway. So I think it's one of those things where they're going to be too busy to worry about it. I think like wherever you tell them to play the games, they're going to have to play because it's a packed schedule, which they're used to. That's what baseball always is. But I think they'll be totally fine.
Now, with it being so short, do they find one spot to be at, or do you think that they're going to have traveling home games?
No, especially since they own the AAA team. It's not like they're playing at a high school that could dictate what's going on. It's still their field. So I don't think they'll have to worry about it in that sense. So whatever they pick, they should be fine.
Yeah, they're definitely not worried about any minor league action going on.
Yeah,
right,
there's no
right?
schedule
AAA and all that
conflicts.
stuff. All
No,
that
they
stuff's
completely
shut down, right?
I think they're actually planning to end that, but they've definitely ended single A completely.
Single A is done.
I think they're moving up Triple A. I don't think they're going to end Triple A. I think they're going to change it to where it's almost like a G League for basketball. Like they're going to completely allow these like two-way contracts, which I know you can drop down and call up at will right now, but I think they're going to adjust it to be more like the NBA. But I'm not for sure on that. But I think that was the plan even before the virus hit. So.
About the same, man. I got 2 AAA parks within 10 miles of me. I got one within like 5 miles. I got one a mile that way and one about 4 miles that way.
I have the Dodgers one, I think. Well, most of the stuff is in Arizona, but we have like training grounds.
This one is the Astros and the Nationals, and then I don't know. That's where they spring training. I don't know which one's actual.
Right.
It could be both of them play there, and then the Cardinals and the Marlins. Yeah, the Cardinals and the Marlins and Jupiter. But got two of them right there. So I mean, even if they're not there, I'm sure these will still be their cities for spring training and all that stuff, which is all I really care about. The only time I go to AAA games is when I want a beer and a hot dog on a boring day.
Hey, I mean, they're fun. They're fun.
It's baseball. It's good baseball too. Yeah, it's good baseball. I mean, unless there's a pitching prospect on the mound and it's just a long game.
And I mean, I was spoiled because I lived right next to the Durham Bulls Park, and they're consistently one of the best AAA teams. So
nice.
I didn't have to watch one of the crappy AAA teams. But
did you get to see the old teacher pitch?
I don't know. I've only gone to a few games.
Where's that? What is Durham Bulls? What movie was that in? That's what I'm thinking of. Oh.
I mean, Bull Durham was the one with the pitcher and the old guy that came back to like do his thing or whatever.
Okay, maybe I'm putting two movies together.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched any baseball movie that's
not
Major League.
Remember the teacher who played baseball? And
The Natural? Is that?
And he pulled his truck off, and it said 74, and then 94 when he went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun too. Yeah, I remember Bull Durham's Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
So real quick, let's talk a little bit about that schedule thing. So they've come out and they've said, like, I think it's 40, at least 40, maybe more, are against division rivals. So this is going to make the division, some of the divisions are going to be kind of crazy because, like, the AL East, for example, you guys now still have to play the favorite Yankees a ton, and these divisions could make some lopsided stats, some lopsided records if, let's say, I mean, you guys only have one bad team now, right? But in Baltimore?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But, I mean, you guys are going to just beat up on Baltimore, whereas the NL West, at least on the betting lines, is supposed to be a little bit closer. We don't have that team that's a plus 10,000 underdog. So all the teams should be able to compete. Is that – I mean, they can't do it any other way, so it's kind of splitting hairs here. But do you like the fact that it's mostly division opponents?
Me, not really, because like you said, it's become a hard division for us. But it's It's the way it's got to be, honestly, right now.
Right.
That's a lot of back and forth travel, 60 games, and I don't even know how many days it's going to be. Probably like freaking 59, um, something crazy like that. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be fun to see. A lot of Boston Red Sox, a lot of those good rivalries. I don't know who the heck y'all is rival with a lot,
Well, the
but it's gonna be
Giants
fun.
are our rival, but
Sure.
we should be better than them.
And we're definitely not better than the Yankees. They're going to plaster this year. I feel like it's everything set up for them, and their offensive. It's gonna stink for a Red Sox fan, since they came out saying it's gonna be at least 40 games. So we
Right.
got a good 7, 8 losses chalked up there right off rip, just because the Yankees are gonna torch us at least twice the series.
At least you guys are all together. I mean, we get to travel. We have the 3 California teams in Arizona, but then we have to go to Colorado now a whole bunch. You guys, which I guess if you're coming down to Tampa, that's a long way. Or not Tampa. That's you guys, right? Yeah, Tampa.
Yeah.
But the rest, if Toronto's playing in New York, you'll have Massachusetts and New York and Maryland is all kind of right there. So the
Yeah.
travel will be nice and easy. We get to go to Colorado and suffer the thin air a whole bunch where we always lose anyway. It's annoying. All right, so let's take a break real quick to talk about our sponsor. And still, I was going to do my best Bruce Buffer impression, but I was practicing it and it was not good. So, and still sponsored by manscaped.com. So,
Yes, we are.
so
Well,
live sports are back and our sponsor is back. We were getting a little worried there, as you guys know, but we're back. And with the live sports being back, you guys know we're huge NBA fans. You guys are probably all pretty big NBA fans because we talk about it a lot. And it is very possible, extremely possible, that we have an NBA matchup against the Clippers and the Nuggets. Well, we've been seeing a lot of matchups between the Clippers and the Nuggets, if you know what I'm saying, in our personal life. But that's why we partner with Manscaped, and they make sure that the Nuggets are going to win that battle. They're as safe as possible. So they're here to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience.
For sure, man. Right now, we got the Lawnmower 3.0. I love to talk to you guys about it. It's the best thing ever. Just used it again the other day. It doesn't cut your balls, bro. I tried. I did it. I tried. It doesn't. It doesn't. I was scared to
You just
death
went for it? Just
for half a second, and I'm good. It doesn't cut your balls, though. It's awesome. It's amazing. It comes with a couple of guards on it, a little cleaner. It's a self-charging station. It's absolutely amazing. Waterproof, has a nice light on it. I love it because my bathroom is stupid and the light's way over on the other side of the bathroom.
like
So the
my
shower's pretty much,
studio. Yeah.
my shower's pitch black whenever I close the curtain. So that's great to have. And it's absolutely amazing, easy to clean, easy to use, and it's definitely the best thing out there for your balls.
For sure, but they didn't stop there. They didn't say, listen, the Lawnmower 3.0 is the best thing since sliced bread, the only thing if you're going to shave your balls. But they didn't stop there. They were like, we're going to one-up ourselves. And not really a one-up. It's more like a +1. And they released their Shears 2.0 nail kit just to kind of bring it all together. Obviously, you don't have any nails on your balls, but your nails are there. It's a luxury 4-piece nail kit. It's great. I don't have one, but I have browsed it after getting this read, and it looks amazing. I might get one myself, but it comes with the tweezers, the scissors, the nail clippers, and a nail file. I try to take care of my nails because I bite them otherwise. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm probably actually going to order it, but we're excited to see that they're continuing to evolve, and the Shears 2.0, that's the next step in the evolution.
For sure, but don't forget right now, if you do go and get the Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with the Lawnmower 3.0, not only do you get that and a couple cool things, you're also they're still giving away the anti-chafing patented boxer briefs
Yeah.
and the travel bag to take around with you when you're done with your quarantine. And you can go over to your other half's house again, finally. It's been months, you've been waiting. So you can go over there and take your travel bag with you to freshen up before.
And something that's really cool that I actually did just get, we were talking about how obviously the ball cream and everything is fresh. The little spritzer is nice. They have another thing that's kind of like the spritzer that you're able to throw on. And these are the ball wipes, bro. They're a little bit easier. They're like those little handy wipes that you get from the barbecue place, and you just drive over. You don't have to spray it before you leave. You're in your car. You just stick that bitch down your pants and kind of roll it around a little bit, and you smell good. So it's great. All their stuff kind of smells the same, so you can know what it smells like. But it's awesome. So with that, man, head over to manscaped.com. I know we've convinced you. So use the code NOSCRUBS, all one word, and get 20% off and free shipping. So again, that's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com if you use the code NOSCRUBS. Take your grooming game to the next level. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the NBA. There are a lot of topics coming out pretty much every day just with this bubble. Everything's going on. Where do we want to start? Let's start about
do we want to start talking about the Brooklyn Nothings?
No. I don't necessarily want to talk about any teams in particular, except maybe the Pelicans, because depending on how long Zion is out, the NBA's plan to elevate them to a matchup against the Lakers might be a little more difficult than they thought. So he left due to a family emergency. We still don't know a timetable on him coming back. Obviously, they have 11 more days before they start. But when he does come back, he's going to have to quarantine. Do you think, I mean, obviously, shout out to him. We want him to take care of whatever the family problem is first. But they need him, right? They're not going to –
Yeah.
The NBA can't help them get into the playoffs without having Zion.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not even – I saw that Montrezl Harrell left for family matters. When the heck did Zion leave? And
like 2 days before Harrell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's insane. I didn't – but awesome for him going, whatever it may be. I don't even know what happened with Montrezl Harrell. Mostly I just get these notifications.
Both of them just said family emergency or whatever, so.
True. So how much is the quarantine thing? I saw the Tobias Harris and the Toby and Bobby videos. He's like, no, quarantine 1 more day. So is it a 4-day, 2-day?
I'm not sure because every sport is different. I think the MLS was like 10 days, but they also showed up so early. But then if you leave, I know they said, so there is a stipulation. They said if Zion gets tested every single day while he's out, which I'm sure he will because the NBA is going to take care of him, that when he comes back, I think he just has like a 48-hour quarantine, like the normal quarantine. If he doesn't test every single day, I think he has to do the full 4-day, 10-day, whatever that is. But I'm sure he'll get tested every single morning. They're not going to let their prized guy go by the wayside.
And the Joker is coming all the way from Slovenia?
He's there, right? Didn't he show up?
Did he show up? I saw on Friday
there.
that he was he was still going to be reporting to the team.
Oh, maybe. I thought he was there and starting up his stuff. So, but let's get to the games themselves. So there's a few little hiccups, not hiccups, I guess, but changes that they've put in. First of all, the games are going to be shorter for those first 8 games. They're only going to be 40 minutes. They said that they are not scared of injuries, but they want to lessen the injuries, want to take care of the people's health first, but they do want to give them that chance to play at an NBA speed. You like this 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think it's good. It shows not only like the first thing you said, well, it doesn't really matter. Like the big stars aren't going to be playing a lot of minutes anyways, and it's up to the coaches. If you don't want your guy to play 48 minutes, then don't let him play 48 minutes. Well, I feel like that kind of takes it out of the hands of the coach. And in most cases, we're not going to start these guys. We're going to play these guys who really aren't the best in the NBA anyways. And I feel like that could lead to injuries and the thoughts of the big wigs at the NBA. So they just cut it. Like 40 minutes is what we're going to start out with. It kind of decreases the chance of something bad happening because we all know it doesn't matter if the coach is great or not. He's going to go with what's best for his big stars, and the little guys that aren't really that good and maybe aren't as conditioned that well, don't have the basketball legs under them yet, could injure a big name player.
Right. And I thought about it a lot more. And honestly, for those coaches, there are some coaches that are more player friendly, but then there's some like Tom Thibodeau, who we had obviously he's not there, but he had that reputation of grinding his guys. Those guys the Thibodeau type coaches aren't going to change their starters' minutes anyway. Because if there was a starter that was planning on getting more than 40 minutes a game in the exhibitions, then that was going to be a problem. So if the starters were expected to get anywhere between 28 to 32 minutes a game, they can still do that if that's what the coach wants. So I doubt they will, but if the starter thinks he needs time, they can still get them out there. Not a lot of starters get over 40 minutes nowadays anyway. This isn't the 90s. So I'm a little more happy with that. Another change that affects two people in particular the most, and that's that the seeding games will not impact award races. So the awards are done. They're going to have to turn in their stuff before July 30th. And what that means, why I said two guys, what that means is essentially Ja Morant is the rookie of the year. There's no way now that Zion earned that. And people were thinking that those 8 games could be a showcase for Zion to go drop 20 games every game. So that's done. So the rookie of the year is essentially done. But then it's the MVP. It's, of course, LeBron versus Giannis. Are you going to take a side? Obviously, we all know what side I'm taking. But are you taking a side in this? Who do you think wins it?
No, I know it's going to go LeBron. Everybody's talking about it, what he did up to the point, and then you say, oh, well, he had AD, and AD's probably going to get Defensive Player of the Year this year. But it's going to go to LeBron. I've thought about it 1,000 times, and not one time do I see.
But Giannis did more. Giannis did more. His stats are better. His team is better. His offense is better. Defense is better. All of his numbers are better, except assists. I guess LeBron did the assist thing, but everything's better for Giannis.
I don't know. I just go back to when LeBron was on the Lakers and AD wasn't, and how great they were. And then you throw AD on and just how subpar they are. So it's obviously LeBron, right? But no, it's definitely Giannis. Giannis deserves it more. He should probably win the next 4 or 5. But it's going to go to LeBron, bro.
That's where I can see LeBron winning it from the standpoint of they missed the playoffs last year. Now they're the number 1 seed, and he led the league in assists. So those 2 points are 2 things that LeBron's never done. LeBron hasn't brought a team from the depths to the number 1 seed in one single year, even though he has the probable Defensive Player of the Year and going to be the Finals MVP if they win the Finals, although LeBron would win that too just because he can't lose it. But Giannis, man, what he did and what's going to take away from him, is they were the best in the league last year, and they're still the best in the league. So the improvement of him being a better MVP just isn't there. But he's shooting better, he's playing better, and honestly, aside from the fact that it would mean LeBron wins one, I almost want Giannis to lose it, so that when they make it to the finals and they're facing the Lakers, he's going to have that extra chip on his shoulder. But I don't want LeBron to win one. So hopefully the voters go Giannis. That's what I'm hoping. But the story is too big. This has to be
Exactly. And that's if we were able to finish the season, normally I feel like Giannis would have kept his foot on the gas and the Lakers would have slowed down towards the end there. Like the LeBron teams usually, not really slow down too much per se, but definitely not all gas, no brakes near the end. So, and Giannis is all gas at all times. So I feel like he definitely would have been able to close the gap more on that. I'm sorry for my neighbors. Close the gap more on that. Oh, awesome. I can hear them very clear. And but I just feel like the way the story was going and how big LeBron and the Lakers and the number 1 seed became, and then we didn't have basketball, and that's all you have to talk about. And I feel like The Last Dance kind of helped with the LeBron story factor a little bit more, and how great he's doing this year, and he's taken such a storied franchise and all this blase. We haven't really heard about Giannis. We haven't seen Giannis highlights in a while. These voters haven't really been looking at a lot of Giannis or hearing about a lot of Giannis. So it's just it's all going towards LeBron in my opinion, which stinks.
That does stink, man. But so before they start, you know what? Let's not talk about predictions. We have another week before they get going. We can talk about that next week. But what else in the NBA do you want to talk about, or anywhere else, I guess, before we end this thing?
There's a little bit of NFL stuff that we haven't covered.
Oh yeah.
It's official. The Washington is officially the Washington No Names.
Right.
The thought was that we were going to have a name be released by the end of the week last week, but that didn't happen. And a lot of stuff has came out about the Washington organization as a whole that isn't the best. I don't really want to get into it now, but how great is it to have Ron Rivera there right now to be able to kind of cool the fire and get people on the right path? Like, this guy is a no nonsense, just a great person, and just wants everybody to do well and be well. And
right. He's a culture changer, man. I mean, he did it in Carolina. Not that Carolina had a bad culture, but that culture became Ron Rivera's culture. And he proved that even when a guy like Cam comes in, and not that Cam's a bad guy, Cam's never done anything wrong, but his personality isn't the same as Ron Rivera's. And they were able to fit into a culture to where they play and they practice like Ron Rivera wants, but Cam is still allowed to have his personality and be fun. And I think that's what Washington needs, man. It's always been just kind of a low sewer dwelling team. Well, not always, but in our lifetime, pretty much, they've always been down in the dumps, and they let the players kind of slide, and the organization people kind of slide under the radar because nobody cares about them. Nobody's watching them. Nobody's doing anything. Ron Rivera is not going to let anything slide. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's huge. He's the best guy that they could have there for that job.
For sure. And then you don't really care, but how do you feel about Patrick Mahomes joining the 99 club as a quarterback?
It had to happen.
With an 81 speed.
That's the thing.
He said that was fair.
The thing is, I know, because I'm a nerd, and not as nerdy as our old co-host and number one guest, Eddie Melville. We should bring him in to talk about this. But creating players in a video game is tough. Most of the time, normal players like me just make everyone all 99. Not tough. But our boy Eddie, we actually should try to. I'll see if we can get him next week. He tries to create people correctly. He doesn't care if they're 99. He doesn't care what it is. And so he actually has some nuance in that. You can't give a super rating to him in every single thing, or they just become unstoppable in a simulation thing. So I know that there's a formula for it, and the NFL did what they could, but then Mahomes wasn't really robbed of that. It's some other players that were really robbed. Deshaun Watson's speed, I think, is like an 84.
Yeah.
Barely higher than Mahomes, and Watson tweeted about it or Instagrammed or something, laughing.
Yeah, his overall is like an 84 or 86 or something like that.
Those type of things are really funny, and that's something I'm going to try to bring Eddie in for Nerd Corner next week to see if we can talk about that.
They have Gardner Minshew at a 70, which I'm not really too mad at, but the fact that they had him at a 69 at the end of the season last year, up from, I think, a 62 to start, like what's the man got to do to get some love? I mean, 70 is horrible in that game.
Yeah.
Like, 70 is hand the ball to Fournette as much as possible, and if you do throw a play action pass, don't let it be over 5 yards.
Yeah, and it's funny because Tom Brady's still a 92. Rob Gronkowski's still a 95.
Dude, I saw that. I was like, the man hasn't even seen the field. Like, do we even know if his bionic arm even works anymore? No. But let's just give the man greatness because, I mean, Rob Gronkowski is greatness on the football field, but he's literally only been greatness for 5 snaps out of a freaking 65-snap offensive game.
And his speed is probably not – I don't know what it is in the game, but it's not
It's
there
over
anymore.
80. Yeah, if it's over 80, I'll punch somebody.
So that's kind of funny. But a shout-out to the 99 Club, and I agree with all of them. Pat Mahomes, Aaron Donald, Stephon Gilmore, Christian McCaffrey, and Michael Thomas. I agree with all of those. I know that DeAndre Hopkins just missed out. He's a 98. A few other guys that just missed out. Bobby Wagner, it's crazy that he's still a 98. George Kittle's only a 98. J.J. Watt is a 98. And then Zach Martin, a lineman. I love to see those high 90s linemen.
Yeah.
But those are the guys that just missed out. So do you think any of those 98s should have been a member of the 99 club? I think Hopkins is, man, right there. I don't know what they dropped to drop.
Bobby Wagner, just because I was the only one in our redraft that was so high on him and could see just his consistent greatness. But no, I think 98 is really high for him. I would have liked to see Nuke up there, but then but it's always the last couple of years, it's Nuke, Michael Thomas, Nuke, Michael Thomas.
Right.
So it's you can't separate either of them. So if you're going to give one a 99, you got to give them both a 99. That's just how I feel. So I don't think Nuke is definitely pissed off that Michael Thomas has a 99 and he doesn't.
Oh, yeah. He's about to go out there and show off.
When he first found out he had a 98, he was probably like, oh, dope. They're like, yeah, MT's got a 99, though. What?
He's about to go show off, I'm telling you, bro. And then the other guy is George Kittle, but I don't think he's going to be that mad because he's still the highest rated tight end. So as long as he's higher than Travis Kelce, he's fine. He's probably happy with that. So.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's probably a little pissed off.
He doesn't do as much as Kittle does, though. He doesn't deserve the same rating as Kittle.
Well,
but
Kittle was the whole offense in the regular season for the most part.
Yeah,
it was run and Kittle.
They were defense and Dabo in there. And now they might have to go back to non-running in Kittle if Mostert, however you say his name, doesn't want to play with him. So,
yeah, that is crazy though. Like this guy put the offense on his back, and y'all are paying him special teamers. And like you said, he signed the contract. Give yourself. But if he wouldn't have signed his special teams, though, he wouldn't even been on the team to be able to show that he has the ability.
He should be happy. He should. So obviously, he did better than special teams. Nobody's going to argue that. I don't think the 49ers are going to argue that. But I think some of the credit goes on the coaching staff of the 49ers.
Oh, for sure.
For allowing him to make those breakout plays and do that. They could have told him, no, you're a special teamer, and not even put him on the field to hand the ball. So I think he should kind of think of it from that side as well and say, listen, I signed this contract as a special teamer. They didn't even have to put me in at running back. But they did. They believed in me, and just play it out, man, and try not to get injured. That's my advice. But if I were the one putting my butt on the line and not getting paid for it, I'd probably think the same way he does.
Yeah, he's probably making $250,000, $300,000 maybe, and that's great. They just got rid of Breida, so he is the backfield for the most part right now. Yeah. It looks like, and he's not making anything. I mean, Derrick Henry's getting 17 a year, 16, 17 a year.
Yeah, something like that.
And this man's barely making 10% of that.
It's rough,
he's not even making 10% of that.
I mean, they'll probably give him an extension though, right? They'll do it on this year because they don't want to lose him.
I think that's what he's doing. Like, he wants to trade because I think that's his leverage. Like, either give me more money or trade me.
But see, they want to wait till the extension deadline. They don't want to give away any free money. You see these guys like Dak who deserves more money, and they want to wait as long as they can wait. And that's what they're going to do with.
Well, the thing with Dak, after I even texted you, I saw later on in the night that it got reported that they were talking about a deal and trying to make a deal. It just didn't get finalized before 4:00 Eastern time.
Right. And that'll open back up, and I think he'll get a contract whenever he can. But
yeah, it's
hard to do that salary cap, bro. It's tough.
Yeah, and Stone Cold Chris Jones just got paid too. Speaking of Pat Mahomes getting paid, he's getting paid. I don't know where the hell they're getting all this money. We're talking about the salary cap.
Because they don't have a running back. Their running back probably gets the minimum.
Williams? Yeah, this is going to be his third year, right?
Yeah, I think so. So he gets the minimum. They don't have receivers that are on max contracts. So their defense, other than Chris Jones, isn't on a max contract.
Man,
so
when Tyreek and Nicole Hardman want to get paid, them boys are going to get paid.
Yeah. So,
but where are they going to find this money?
They're not. They're going to get paid by another team is what they're going to get paid by.
So they're going to get a Super Bowl this year and next year, and then that'll be that for the Chiefs, and they'll just have Pat Mahomes making bank for years to come.
Yeah, that's probably, but that's what they want. That's
Do you
if you
think
have
he
a
makes it
chance
all
to
10 years?
like makes it period or makes it
Under
as
that
a chief or
yeah, he stays with the Chiefs under that contract.
yeah, I think so. If he can win 2-3 Super Bowls, then it's worth it. The Super Bowl is hard to win. We can't all be Tom Brady and win every other year or whatever.
Right.
So,
I agree.
all right. So what else we got? I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
I don't have much. A shout out. I want to give a couple shout outs. John Lewis, man. I don't know much about him other than I know that he passed away, and I saw that the sports world as a whole was out there shouting out to him. So I didn't know who he was. I looked into him. He has a really cool story. I don't know if you looked into his story at all, Seal, but he fought for civil rights, and he's from Atlanta or from around Atlanta. So not the greatest civil rights city in the world. They're better than the rest of Georgia, I guess, but not the best. But he's an African American, so he fought for civil rights and then became, I believe, not the governor, but like a senator or whatever for Atlanta for I think like 17 years or something. So he really turned that around and became a staple in that, and he was really influential on sports apparently, and ended up passing away at 80. So I'm sorry that I don't know more about him, and that's part of the problem that we've said from all these riots and things that are going on is we don't know the people that we should know. So it was cool that I was able to look into him, but we need to know about these people earlier. He created schools. He created all kinds of things to stop racial injustice and segregation. So shout out to him and his family. Like, rest in peace, John Lewis. We hope that your family can make it through this and just continue. 80 sounds like a good life, and he did a lot of great stuff, but you never want to die from cancer. Cancer is rough. So
yeah,
shout outs to them. And then another quick shout out, not on the level of that as much, but a shout out to Freddie Freeman for making it through COVID. He has come out and said it was tough, man. He had a temperature of 104.5. He said he was praying for his life, thought he was on his deathbed for some of the worst days. And then it's so weird. The virus is so weird. You can be about to die, and then the next day you feel totally fit, and then the next day you feel like you're about to die again. Nobody understands what's going on, but shout out to him for making it through. I guess he's in recovery now. So that's amazing. But take it seriously, guys. A guy like Freddie Freeman can be praying for his life. That's
for real.
scary.
Don't be a Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
wear your mask.
This is no scrubs allowed. So I was going to bring up the story, and then I was like, nope, Dwight Howard is a major scrub, so we're not going to talk about it. But don't be like Dwight Howard. Wear your mask. Be a stud, not a scrub.